Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to my living room here in the middle of Berlin and to a new episode of Hope at Home, The Next Generation. Today is the first Sunday Advent, and it's getting closer already to Christmas in this rather strange time. But music brings us great comfort, and I'm tremendously happy to welcome a young man this evening with whom we began tonight's episode. He's an absolutely fantastic pianist. He's born in Jerusalem. He grew up in South Africa, and we just met about 45 minutes ago, and I found out he lives around the corner. So welcome, Ammiel Bushakevitz. It's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's a great pleasure to be here.
And we're connected certainly through at least one country, which is South Africa. I was born in South Africa, but left when I was a young child. You were born in Israel, but you moved to South Africa as a young child and grew up there. Is that right?
That's correct. In fact, I met your father in South Africa.
My father?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you?
A few years ago, I met him by chance, and he was involved with a festival in a little town, Hermanus, beautiful town.
A literary festival, yes.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Right. Oh, really?
And I had a concert there, and he said, my son is a violinist, Daniel Hope. And I said, of course I know Daniel Hope.
But we meet here in Berlin.
That's how, coincidences.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely. And we meet through Mendelssohn. And the first piece that we played tonight was this beautiful song, which we transcribed for violin instead of for voice, which is called Scheidend, which means parting or departing, I guess you would say. Yes. We've just arrived, so we're going to carry on. But it's one of Mendelssohn's really most beautiful, most touching pieces. And Mendelssohn, in any case, I think also connects us, a composer who is like none other, really.
Yes, that's true. And living here in Berlin as well, there's also the Berlin connection as well with Mendelssohn.
Absolutely,
yes.
and as you said to me, there were many instances in the 19th century where music was transcribed in different versions and played. So a song would be passed on. This is before we had the internet, before we had modern communication, and house concerts were the way in which music was spread, in a sense. And so it's very nice to be back here trying to revive this rather wonderful tradition of the house concert. We're going to play some more Mendelssohn.
That would be wonderful.
And I hope you're going to forgive me, because this, in fact, is a very famous piece for piano. But Ammiel was good enough to oblige me and to let us play a transcription for violin and piano, actually a transcription from the time of Mendelssohn. And this piece is, as always, beautiful, but particularly special, is it not?
Yes. Well, it's been given a nickname duetto because it's a conversation between two voices, and in the solo version, it's conversation between a low voice and a high voice, maybe two lovers, or two husband and wife, or a father and daughter, or and with us, I find it very fitting that it's two different instruments now.
Yes.
So it's a pleasure.
So this is a song without words by Mendelssohn. There's just something about Mendelssohn's music that is so stunning and so special, and yet he does with so little, he achieves so much.
Yes, yes. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. So much simplicity, and yet such grandeur and so much true emotions inside the music.
And it's somebody that, as Ammiel said, was connected to Berlin. He lived here for a while. He's more famously connected to Leipzig, where he was the music director of the Gewandhaus. But he did spend his early years here. And in fact, on one of the earlier episodes, we did a concert from the house in which his family lived, which is near the Gendarmenmarkt, and happens to be the Irish Embassy's premises as well. So it kind of all converges in Berlin.
Yeah, it's wonderful to find these convergences in life, as you say. I can add to that I studied in Leipzig. When I came from South Africa, I studied in Leipzig, and my apartment was across the street from the house of Mendelssohn in Goldschmidtstraße. So every morning I would look out of the window and see the house where Mendelssohn used to live. So it's a special connection for me as well. And as you say, the Irish Embassy, which I know as well, here in Berlin, Mendelssohn shared the same building. Well, it wasn't the Irish Embassy at the time.
No. And tell me, how was it for you to come from South Africa into Leipzig? I mean, that must have been quite a change, quite a contrast.
It was a big contrast, and it was a cultural explosion for me because, of course, Leipzig is such a musical city and has been for so many centuries. So just walking down the road, Grieg's house, Schumann's house, Bach's home and his grave in the Thomaskirche, the Gewandhaus around there, it was really paradise for me, and it is for any musician still today.
Well, as we're riding this wave of Mendelssohn, let's play another piece. And this is one of his awesome, beautiful piano pieces. It's a Venetian Gondel song in an arrangement from Mendelssohn's time.